Alright, good morning. So, it's been a while since I made a video, and I have finally gotten started on my 6 baby quilts, which should have been started a long time ago, but life is messy. But anyway, I was talking to somebody about making 6 baby quilts, and they were talking to me about, like, how organized must you be? Like, how do you manage that? And I was like, well, it's actually kind of simple. And so that's what this box is. I'm not sponsored. I'm not saying you have to buy anything. I am simply saying that boxes do help. This is a fabric box that I bought on Amazon. I actually got 4 of them in a set. I want to say they were like $28. I don't remember. But they're really nice. Like, they're decent size. They have a nice little clear thing so I can actually see what's in the box. And it has a lid that is attached. And that is really nice because I have a tendency to lose lids. So I'm glad that it's there. So this is one of the baby quilts. I actually finished cutting all of the pieces yesterday. And inside of the box is obviously the quilt design. So this is the quilt design that I'm going to be making. And then after I have figured out all of my pieces, I break down all of the parts that I need for the quilt. So let's look at... Okay, I apologize. I have my webcam set up high and I finally got it to work. So this little box here is an 8x8. So I'm going to cut an 8.5 piece of fabric. These two are 8.5 by 4.5, and then this little one is 4.5. So I'm going to need to cut out those 4 shapes, and I'm going to have to cut them out several times because you see those 4 shapes are repeated in each of those sections of quilt. And then these lines with the little hash mark through them, those mark my inner border. And actually, if you look over here at this piece with the coloring, you'll see I have a couple different sizes of inner border. So I have these orange pieces here that are all going to be the same length. So for each block, I will need to cut 3 of those. The 2 light blues at the top and the bottom are all going to be the same length, and I will cut 2 for each section. And then I have a green and a gray, and those are 2 different sizes, and again, I'd have to cut 1 for each section. So, in order to keep things straight, I write it down on a note card. Ta-da! So it says white with gray dots, inner border, so that's the fabric, and then it tells me the number of pieces I need and what measurement I need for the pieces. And I'm sorry you can't see it very well in the video, plus my handwriting's atrocious. And then after I make all of the pieces, after I write down all of the pieces that I need with their amounts and all of that, I go through, and as I cut them, I just check them off. And then I stick them into my nice little box. So I have all the pieces that I need for the quilt. I've got all the big pieces. I've got all of the border pieces. These are the outer border pieces. I have my center panel piece. I've got my inner border piece. Lots of inner border pieces. They also need ironed. And then at the very bottom, I have the backing. So this will be what goes on the back of the quilt when I am finished. And so that's kind of how I organize my quilt building process. I put it into a container with all of the directions that I'm going to be following, so that way they're all together. And in the past, previously, my way of storing all these was a very fancy laptop box. So we've talked before on the channel. I'm a teacher, and the kids all have laptops at my school. We're a 1-to-1 district. And so when they bought new laptops, there were like hundreds, if not a couple thousand of these boxes lying around. And I took many of them. I actually took like 10 of them for projects here at home. I now have retired these. I no longer use these. I mean, I still do have two, but they're storing two very specific quilt pieces. So I do still have the two. But otherwise, I have gone to these, and actually I kind of want to buy another set on Amazon. They have a 6-piece set, which I kind of am looking at. Not that I really need to work on 10 quilts at a time, but it would actually be nice if I could, like, oh, I bought you guys for this. Anyway, so that's how I do that part. That's how I organize that part. I'm actually in the midst of cutting 4 of the 6 right now. So this one's actually in the front room being cut currently. That's for one cousin. And then this is for another baby. And this one, I haven't actually finished the quilt design yet, but I know that I want all this fabric to go in this baby quilt, largely because their siblings, because this particular family has had more than one child I've made quilts for. I've used pieces of these fabric before with their other siblings. So with siblings, I like to repeat, not all, never all, a fabric or two or a motif. But generally, I try to make each baby quilt individual, and I don't like to repeat fabrics as often as possible because I feel like that's just kind of rude. I am going to be repeating, hold on, this one. I've got 3 baby quilts that I think I'm going to repeat this particular one fabric with, only because it'll work really well with all of them. But 2 of them are going to the same family unit. The third one will not ever meet. So like 2 of the 3 quilts will meet together, but the third one will never meet, so it'll be okay. But generally I try to have every quilt have their own fabric, and I try not to repeat very often, which yes, gets a little expensive, but I like the idea of individuality. So that's how I organize quilts for making, and then I'll finish cutting quilts and I'll start sewing tops together in the next few days, hopefully, because school's getting ready to start back up. Alright, thank you.